Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are you guys? It is Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, and we are back with our weekly Thursday live show. So I'm just going to be opening up my Facebook group so I can see comments. Let me see. Recent posts. There we go. So everybody who is jumping on tonight, please give me a wave. Please say hello. Please tell me where you're tuning in from. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes for people to catch up on the live stream so that people can hop on here and introduce themselves and just say hi and let me know that you're here and joining me on this Thursday evening. So we do have a lot of new women coming into this group, and I'm super excited about that. And that is why I would just like to quickly introduce myself so that everybody knows who I am and what I do, and and what to expect from this group. So again, whoever is coming on here, please say hi, please wave, please give me anything. It's always nice to have a conversation with you guys rather than just talking at the camera. So welcome everybody who's new to this group. I'm super excited that you found the group and that you have decided to become part of this community. It's a wonderful community of like-minded women who are all on the journey, on their own individual journey to become really the best healthy version of themselves. I have created this group because I was once in your shoes. Many years ago, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis 10 years ago, and as well as PCOS, and which has changed my life entirely, like so many of you guys in here. And I then decided to take matters into my own hand so that I can create the life that I knew I deserved. And so I went back to nutrition school, I changed careers, and I became a certified holistic nutritionist. And I'm now actually studying under a functional nutritionist in Toronto to also become certified in functional nutrition. So that is the main reason why I created this group. And every Thursday I go on live here and I pick topics that I find are super interesting to you, that are really helpful, that I wish that I would have known on my journey to share with you so that you can learn, that you can implement, that you can, change the trajectory of your health a little bit quicker and faster. So that is my main goal. So this evening, on this Thursday evening, we are actually going to be talking about the importance of creating a network of practitioners. So today we're not going to be talking about nutrition or anything like that. We're going to be talking a little bit about the importance of creating a network of practitioners. And I chose this topic because that is a crucial piece of your journey back to health. And this is a crucial piece that I wish I would have understood and realized from the very, very beginning, because it would have saved me. It would have saved me many, many years of struggling and trying to find the most straightforward way to shift my health to get from A to B. So let's talk about it. And if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm very happy to answer any questions that are coming in. So what I want to say about that topic is that I really want to make a point here in saying that creating a network of practitioner basically is just as important to look at in a holistic way as it is in taking a look at your body in a holistic way. So the holistic approach really to getting your body back into balance is to look at your body not in sections and not in different body systems that are just working on their own, but really understanding that the body has different systems and sections, but they all communicate with one another and they all are part of the whole, you know, like a whole, like a symphony. And so really, just like we need to look at the body itself as a whole system of interconnected players, we also really need to look at our healthcare in the same way so that we can really reap the best possible outcome for us. And why is that? Because like I just mentioned, is that no one instrument can whistle a symphony. It truly takes a whole orchestra to play it. And when you think about it, and I'm going to be taking you through a little bit of a typical health journey that all of us experience from diagnoses to where we want to be, so that you understand why it is important to get those different players in. It's all about collaboration. It's absolutely necessary for the best possible outcome. We need to collaborate with our network of practitioners. And I'm going to go into details as to why I believe that is. Just like our organs in our mind and our body, emotions, physical symptoms, they all collaborate with one another. You know, your mind is not separate from your body and vice versa. And your liver doesn't do its job just on its own. It needs the pancreas. It needs other organs. And so it really ties into all of that. So collaboration is necessary, but why is that? And what is collaboration? Really? So collaboration, when you think about it, is really a blending of what each and every member of your team can offer, and then combine the most useful ideas into one effective plan in order to resolve a problem. So that is collaboration. So it's the blending of what each and every member of your team can offer you, and then combine it so that it becomes the most useful, effective plan for you. And so what I want to do is I want to take you through a typical journey of what we usually experience when from diagnosis onwards to where we want to be in our health. And then I'm going to make some specific points along the way. And why is it so important to get the blending of what each and every member of your team does? Because the fact is that everybody on your team, every practitioner on your team has a certain scope of practice. They're going to school for and learn specific things. So, you know, medical school, nutrition school, homeopathy, naturopathic school. There's so many different areas that are being taught to so many different practitioners, and they really all specialize in that area. And all of these different areas are important as a piece in the entire puzzle. And all of those pieces cannot function alone if you just include one of those into your healthcare journey, because another piece is missing. So you will never really gain the entire benefit of what you could gain if you make use of all of these different approaches and take the ones that you need specifically. So what does a typical health journey look like? Well, number one, before your diagnosis even, number one is you're feeling your symptoms. And those symptoms can mean anything. They're very vague. I mean, we're all suffering from immense fatigue at one point in our lives, joint pain, a lot of digestive upsets. And you are starting to get to a point where you understand this is really not normal anymore. So, but instead of saying, or instead of saying, okay, so I'm not feeling well right now, what can I do? And then you start addressing your nutrition and make dietary changes. This will maybe help you a little bit along the way, but it won't truly make a whole big of a difference for you, because number one, you don't really understand where the imbalances are sitting in your body. So you can be actually choosing foods or supplementation that are not really filling the gap of what your body is needing. So what do? You go to the doctor, your GP, family doctor, and you are trying to get a diagnosis, or you're trying to understand what is happening in your body. So your GP is very important in the first part of your journey, because they need to run some tests for you. You need to get a diagnosis first in order to understand where the imbalances are and what needs to be done. So that is super important. And then you go on and you go on and go see some specialists. So your doctor might send you to some other specialists, because they are specializing in that area that of your body that is not functioning properly, just to get a little bit more clarity on what is happening, what the tissue destruction is, maybe, if there's like nodules or any further imbalances, tissue destruction, or anything that needs to be addressed. So the specialists are super important in order to get those additional tests run, just to get more clarity on markers of inflammation or tissue destruction or anything like that, right? And so then you're starting to gain clarity, and then you're starting to understand, okay, now I'm dealing with this specific issue. And then the next step that you're experiencing is you're being put on certain medications. And, sometimes we need the medication, especially for us with Hashimoto's. I can tell you that if there's a certain amount of tissue that has been already compromised or destroyed on your thyroid gland, no level of nutrition can help you 100% to get your thyroid back on track, because your thyroid gland has been compromised. It has been destroyed in a way that it just can't naturally pick up the slack anymore, right? So in some of us, it's just too late. However, so we do need a certain amount of thyroid medication in order to stabilize our thyroid. So, and what I see now is that in most cases, this is where it stops. So this is basically where a care stops. And this is where people are starting to not feel better and becoming very overwhelmed and very frustrated, because the symptoms you're experiencing are simply not going away. You do now have more clarity. You have your diagnoses, you maybe have your medication, you have a little bit of knowledge around what is happening in your body, but you don't really have the entire solution in place yet. Because now it is when you're wanting to start to fill the gaps. And this is typically where you hit the end of the conventional route. And this is where you need to branch out. This is where you need to start to understand and create this network of additional, mostly alternative practitioners that you need to pull in order to fill those gaps, right? And this is very, very different for everybody. And I'm going to tell you that it takes some time and it takes some understanding and knowing yourself of what it is which gap you need to fill on your own. Sometimes it's functional medicine practitioners, doctors. Sometimes you want to just have more tests run. So you want to dig deeper. You want to go into more inflammatory markers. Maybe you want to go into nutrient deficiencies. You want to go find out how you can, from a nutrition standpoint, or from a certain supplementation standpoint, how you can fill those gaps in order to support your body to go back into balance, right? Sometimes it's a naturopath, sometimes it's a dietitian, right? And sometimes it's a nutritionist, just like myself. And the point here is that I mentioned that before, is that every one of those practitioners have their own scope of practice that they are basically navigating in, and that they're really comfortable in, and that they are well educated in, and that they're really good at what they're doing. But there's no one person who has everything in like who can give you everything, without having to tap into different areas. So there's not one person who went to medical school at the same time, went to nutrition school and naturopathic school and all of it. Everybody has their field of expertise that they're really good in and that your body needs, because it addresses different levels of healing in your body. You need a certain amount of supplementation. You need a certain amount of nutrition. You need a certain amount of maybe even physical adjustments, such as a chiropractor can be extremely helpful, especially when you have joint pain. So what I'm trying to convey here is that you need to really know yourself. You really need to understand where your individual gaps are in your health journey that you need to get filled. And I can tell you that a lot of women that I work with are actually under the care of a functional medicine practitioner. And I love that. I love that. I love the collaboration, because there's certain things that I cannot provide. I cannot provide blood work. I cannot provide any kind of clarity around, any kind of functional tests or anything like that. It's completely out of the scope of my practice. And so I love it when women say, I want to go see a functional medicine practitioner because I want to get even more clarity. And then in the end, it helps me because I can then see the scope of, nutrient deficiencies that are present. And then I come in and I can fill that gap. And I'm just using myself to give you some perspective here. So then I can jump in as a holistic nutritionist who went to nutrition school and who understands a lot about how certain nutrients can help certain body systems to repair and restore. And then I could come in and jump in and fill that gap that maybe a functional medicine practitioner can't fill that much, because he is more focused on the testing and the supplementation. And so see how it all comes together. And then we really want to make sure that we want to work in collaboration with all of these practitioners that you are, really gathering to support your health, so that you can have the best possible outcome on your health journey. And then other practitioners might even suggest alternative practitioners to you. Right? For example, when I had my sports injury and I had a slipped disc, there was nothing I could have done with my nutrition only. I knew that my nutrition only is not gonna heal my disc. And so I had to go to a chiropractor, and I had to go and I pulled in a chiropractor and massage therapist to get my back, like to really support my back on a physical level. And then in addition, I use nutrition and certain supplementation foods in order to heal, to speed up the healing, right? So this is why it is so important for us to not be biased when it comes to different practitioners. And essentially, I can only tell you that once I started to understand how our bodies need different approaches in order to really be taken care of from all different angles and levels, this is where, you know, the healing and the repair and the restoration will fully flourish for you. Because then you're starting to fill the gaps that one practitioner only will never be able to fill. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Let me know if there's any questions that you might have around this that I can answer for you guys. Yeah, but this is really what I wanted to let you guys know today. So if you feel stuck on your journey, or even if you feel, let's say, if you feel frustrated because you're feeling that your practitioner, your healthcare practitioner that you have engaged is not giving you what you need, you know, don't be discouraged and don't have negative feelings around it. More so, just look at it as if this practitioner is doing his part to the best of his or her ability. And now I need to figure out which other practitioner I need to pull in order to fill the gap that my one practitioner cannot fill for me. And then once you do that, you will see that you will have a way more comprehensive approach, and you will see that your body is going to respond to it a lot more. And also the stress levels will come down for you a little bit. So to summarize this for you guys is I really just want to drive home that forming a collaborative healthcare team will to help manage your care is a substantial undertaking. And you need to know yourself very well. You need to understand what your body needs. And then you need to have an open mind and reach out to those practitioners. But it truly is at the core of your autoimmune wellness journey. And it's at the core, because you are not just approaching one side and one system, you're approaching the whole journey. It's the holistic approach to moving to optimal health, right? And it can really dramatically impact the course of your disease over time. So there's one comment. I'm glad I have an amazing network that has and still is with me on my life journey. This is so important. It truly, truly is. And I'm very happy for you that you have that put in place. And for everybody on here, I can only suggest it, and to broaden your mind, basically, and to really maybe take note of, what area you feel is not covered very well by your practitioners, whether it's nutrition, whether it's physical exercise, even mindset coaching, life coaching, anything that maybe reduces your anxiety. These practitioners are just as important as healthcare, right? The mental, emotional state of our health journey is just as important. So whatever it is that you feel has not been addressed at this point, make a note and just start writing down what you feel is still lacking, and then try to figure out which practitioner you feel might be could be helping you on that journey. And I can only offer you guys, if you ever want to have a conversation with me around that, please feel free to always reach out to me. Just having a conversation around which practitioners might be even helpful to move you forward on your health journey can help you move in the right direction, right? Whether it's an osteopath, naturopath, homeopath, nutritionist, dietitian, even acupuncture, all of these wonderful practitioners are out there, and they all have that, they're all there for you to put together the different puzzle pieces in order to fill in the entire picture, the entire puzzle for you. All right. I'm doing some readjustments with my health practitioners. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you know what? That's another really good point, is that it needs adjusting. It's never stagnant. It's never the same, right? So now it is maybe just, like the chiropractor that you need in order to get your joints, stretched or whatever it is. But then next week, it could be a massage therapist, or in a month from now, it could be acupuncture. So readjustment, always following what your body tells you, is going to be very important. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, you guys. Like I said, if you ever want to discuss that with me, hop on a call with me. I'm always there for you. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful evening. Thank you for spending your time with me. And we'll see you again very soon. Have a good night.